record. So today is Thursday. It's going to be May 7th, regular class. We're going to be reading Chapter 10 in The Outsiders here in a moment. This is the last day I read with you. It's supposed to be nice out today, Pearls. It's supposed to be like in the 60s, so definitely worth going outside. My throat still is awful. I'm on day 4 of medication, but apparently it's not doing anything. I have apparently some form of corona strep where it is just not going away, and every time I swallow, it hurts. I currently have a throat lozenge in. I've got like breath spray stuff going on. I've got water behind me. I have a small gerbil I keep putting down my throat, trying to pull back out again to see if it's going to like claw it out, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. It is all kinds of awful, but we're getting there. I'm going to be reading Chapter 10 with you guys today and trying not to pass out. And then you are going to have to read Chapters 11 and 12 on your own, but they're fairly short and really fast, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. All right, now to our stuff over here. Hang on. Let's go screen share, sending it over to here, share. There we go. And to here. Come on. Clicky. Yep, there we go. All right, and then to here. Skyward is updated, including today's quiz, or Tuesday's quiz. If you have not done Tuesday's quiz, it is not late yet. You can still get credit. I did put it in as a 0, though, just as a reminder for you to get it done. But as soon as you actually do the quiz, your grade will jump right back up to whatever your normal grade is. So don't freak out if you see a 0 in there for the quiz. It was just a placeholder until you get yours taken care of. You can still do last week's quiz, because I still have about 20 kids who have not done the previous one. So if you want to do last week's quiz, you are still more than welcome to do that one. It is not an issue at all. Hang on a second, let me bring that one up to there. And so hopefully that helps you out. Elijah, question about the quiz?
Yeah, so you said that you put a 0 in for it, but we still get credit for it, right?
Yep. Let's go grab it.
All right, and then my second question is, I did it yesterday.
Yep, you did it last night. I have not had a chance to update that. I was too busy being sick.
All right.
As soon as we get done doing it.
The reason I didn't do it is because I thought you said we had until Monday to do it.
You do.
So,
it's just that if I don't put in 0s, parents complain that they don't know their kids are missing work until too late. What? Now I just put in 0s, and then as soon as you get it done, I just upgrade it with your normal grade.
All right, that makes sense.
There you go. Yep. It's a balance for parents. It's like some parents get mad at me if I don't put 0s in. Some get mad if I do get. So basically, I just accept the fact that parents get mad at me no matter what I do. We just roll with it. So, it all good, yo. Back to here. Hopefully you got a panoramic survey on your email. So hopefully you're checking school emails. They're wanting you to fill that one out. And they keep telling us, hey, remind the kids to fill them out. So this is me reminding you to go fill them out. The new Zoom rules, hopefully things are going a little bit better and we're having fewer issues. We'll see how stuff goes. It means we start a little bit slower, but who knows, whatever, we'll figure it out. Click. I said click. There we go. Your goal is to finish the Outsiders book before Tuesday. I will be talking about the end of the book coming up on Tuesday. So if you've not read, there will be spoilers. I mean, I'm the one that's creating the test, so I'm not going to be covering things that are going to be on the test, but still having a chance for conversations and stuff like that. Sickles, it is disturbing watching you eat that giant bagel with that thing sitting over your shoulder, just so you know. It looks like it's getting ready to try and eat that over your shoulder every time, just letting you have some idea. Any of your past work, just stop trying to feed it, Pickles. For anything aside from just the quiz, you're more than welcome to go back and do any of the e-learning that you've had. I'm more than happy to grade anything going all the way back to Greek mythology. If you are missing a thing, you get it turned in, I will grade it and put it on there. All right, here is your thing for today. Again, telling you, here's where you're going to want to screenshot. So screenshot now, and again, I'll show it to you at the end. Here's for this one. Your room name is REG7 for regular 7th, not 7th grade, but because today is May 7th. Pretend this book was happening in today's world of social media. I want you to create a post that Ponyboy would put up after the events in this chapter. It could be an Instagram thing, a TikTok, any kind of social media creation whatsoever. Word it how it would sound from a teen posting today. So if it's a TikTok, what I would imagine you doing is, because I mean, if you want to act it out and then send me a link to your TikTok where you're pretending you're Ponyboy, bonus points. That'd be awesome. But I was thinking more of just describing which TikTok meme it would be, and then like what his words would be or what hashtags would connect to it, something like that. Or if you're going to do an Instagram post, just you pick whatever social media you want it to be and you connect it in some way. That's all I'm looking for, is for you to connect to. Yeah, that's making it even creepier, Pickles, when you have like a random person appearing out of your little dog thing as you eat your bagel. So just giving you a heads up, way to like reach 3 levels of creepy. So figure out whatever your social media thing is, connect it to what is happening in chapters 9 and 10, and you should be good to go from there. All right, I'm assuming, oh, Pickles, I apologize. I did not see your hand, Pickles. What's up, dear?
I didn't get that thing from the school.
Oh, they sent it out Monday morning. So that's all I know. Did you get one in your email?
Yeah, I did yesterday. Why are you calling him Pickles?
Because her name is Pickles. Kaylee Pickles Sickles. That's her basketball name. It's on the back of her jersey next year when I write it there. And so go back and check.
Okay.
Luckily, I know your basketball coach, so it's okay. So yeah, just go back and check Mondays and make sure you didn't put it in spam or something like that. Good luck to you. Pearlington, you just yelled at me a moment ago. Are you already dressed and looking adorable for the day?
Not yet. But I remember my question from yesterday.
Thank goodness. How well timed.
There's an ant. The panoramic survey. What if you already did that for another class? Do we still have to do it again?
No, it's just one per kid. So as long as you've done it once, you're good to go.
Okay.
And you might be dressed up a little too adorable for today. I'm not sure it's adorable dress outfit kind of day, but you know, to each their own.
There's ants all over my counter.
That sounds like a you issue, dear. Oh my goodness gracious, kids nowadays. All right, so that takes us as far as the Socrative goes. Again, if you want to screenshot this, it's going to come in handy either for the quiz if you have not done the quiz, or for the test coming up. I tried to create it to make your life a little bit easier, but that's completely up to you on that one. Then for today, again, the sunrise poem. For those of you who jumped out and did not finish with us yesterday, when we got to the death of that poor Johnny guy who's like, stay gold, pony boy. That's my Johnny acting right there. The staying gold that he's referring to goes back to the sunrise poem, where it says nothing gold can stay, being, nothing innocent, no happiness. It's all going to eventually die and disappear. He's trying to tell Pony Boy to stay gold, not become grumpy and angry and unhappy, but try and stay in your happy place for as long as possible. This plays a big role today. The fact that Dally carries a heater that is unloaded plays a big role in what's going to happen here shortly. And the fact that he knows it's unloaded. And as we saw yesterday, he did not take the death of Johnny very well when he starts cursing and punching the wall and runs out screaming. And now he has an unloaded gun. He's, we all can suspect Dally is good at making choices. That's what Dally does. That was done there for Johnny, and the fact that that broke his back. Now, Johnny doesn't have to worry anymore about the pain of things and stuff like that. The whole being burned and having a broken back is not important when you're dead. And then I gave you guys this picture yesterday. Leave me so I can cry over the deaths of fictional characters. And so we have the fact that poor Johnny has died, and the fact that none of you had any emotions yesterday. I read the part about Johnny dying, and I was looking for kids like tears and like kids like shaking their hands like, no, and none of them. They were like, blink, blink, no emotions. They're like a bunch of rocks out there. It was so disappointing, whatever. I had to kill more of your favorite characters off. Anyway, here's the part where I just get to be sad because I don't get to have a conversation with you. Speaking of conversations, Brian, what's up?
You couldn't hear us crying because you had us muted yesterday.
I know, but I watched the videos. I have all of your video screens up except for those of you who are blocking me. And so I was watching, and I know I couldn't hear you cry, but I was trying to watch for the tears or kids reaching over and grabbing tissues. But all I had were kids dancing and nonstop, like doing their TikToks in the background. Yeah, looking at you, Chanel. And so there was definitely.
Look at the pause reading the book.
But that's just me. Whatever.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Ryland, what's up?
Blue cinnamon roll.
Did you say cinnamon roll? Oh, blue cinnamon roll. Wow, that's weird. But okay, thanks for sharing. That is a really, really blue cinnamon roll. I wouldn't eat that. It looks poisoned, or delicious. You should bring it to my house. I'll test it for you. All right. So why do Cherry and Ponyboy fight while at the hospital? That was where the whole thing where Ponyboy says, you should go visit Johnny. And she says, no, because he killed my boyfriend. Now it doesn't matter because, he's dead.
Yay.
Oh, I just realized what picture you sent Grayson that's in the background. That's the one that was on our house.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I got multiple photos of it.
I'm
It's
so
chunky.
happy that you have a giant, chunky, fat bird. Why are they having the rumble? This would go back to the idea that they're trying to beat each other up. And they have who starts the rumble? Yes, and the rumble. This is that big, long, boring part. We gets up to it. We find out that Derry was like Hulk, and Derry starts it. And then we have that other guy, Paul Holden, who used to be his best friend. They're going to fight each other. Dally shows up late and is like, you can't have a fight without me. And he runs up there so they can start beating up each other. Who normally helps Ponyboy fight? That's Johnny, because they're both small people. S-M-O-L, small. And so they're not real good at fighting. So they sort of like Transformers, they work together to fight. And so you have Ponyboy who's small and Johnny who's small, and they work together to fight people. But Johnny's not there, so Ponyboy has to have a new fight buddy. And his new fight buddy is Dally, who only has one arm because one arm is all broken and busted, and the other one's all good at punching. So Ponyboy, who's smaller, and Dally, who has one arm, and they high-five each other, and they fight together. I mean, you can't really have Johnny there because the whole crippled thing. I mean, you could technically pick Johnny up by his legs and like swing him around the whole time. He's like, rawr, rawr. I know for those of you who are shocked and covering your faces, realize he's not going to be in pain. He's paralyzed. He'd be fine with it. He would just be like slapping him as he went by. And so technically it'd be a good way of solving the problem. Anyway, that's probably why I don't get into rumbles or have paralyzed friends. Which side manages to win? That's where the greasers come in because they fight so much harder than everyone else. Why does Ponyboy go to the hospital after the rumble? That's where we find out that Johnny's getting ready to die, and it's all kinds of sadness. And he's like, oh no, Johnny's going to die. And then Johnny does die. What does it mean when Johnny says stay gold? To not become Dally, to not become all upset and horrible and things like that. What else do I have? This part, because I had people ask me, why does Johnny die? Now, realize with Johnny dying, his injuries don't kill him because all he has is third-degree burns and a broken back, which suck but are not fatal. So what kills him is, all right, if you've seen movies or TV shows, wherever you have like someone who's in the hospital and they're like, he's a fighter, he's not going to die, he's going to keep working to stay alive. Well, sometimes your body has to work to stay alive from injuries. And for Johnny, his body literally, he just stops fighting because he has no reason to stay alive. If Johnny survives this, he's going to have to live at home with parents who beat him all the time. And it's going to be all kinds of awful. Plus, he's going to be in a wheelchair, so he can't even run around. So he was like, I don't want to leave the hospital. I don't want to get better. For him, this is sort of his way of committing suicide. But all it is him just no longer fighting to live. And he sort of just gives up and lets himself get into it. So that's why he dies from the injuries, is he just sort of stops trying.
I'm a head out.
How does Ponyboy get home from the hospital? That's what we're going to get to today. That's what we're getting ready to start here in just a moment. How does Dally react to the news about Johnny? That's what chapter 10 is about. We're going to find out how Dally reacts to the news. As we can imagine, Dally's going to take it really well because he's a really strong guy. It's going to be okay. I mean, not blue cinnamon roll okay, but okay, well enough. All right, so going to page 150, let's read chapter 10. It's a fairly short chapter on this one. Oh, that's adorable, Pickles. You've got 3 pictures of you up there. Yeah, shots fired. Quit trying to distract me, you horrible child. I can play this game too. All right, you're page 150. Hang on, let's go to here. We're going to stop doing this thing. There we go, stop sharing. Go to this guy. Cancel. Me. All right, and me. Reading on here. Page 150, chapter 10. This is right after Johnny had just died and Ponyboy took off running. Not Ponyboy, Dally took off running. So now Ponyboy was left at the hospital because that's how Ponyboy got to the hospital, was Dally giving him a ride. I walked down the hall in a daze. Dally had taken the car and I started the long walk home in a stupor. Johnny was dead, but he wasn't. That still body back in the hospital wasn't Johnny. Johnny was somewhere else. maybe asleep in the lot, or playing the pinball machine in the bowling alley, or sitting on the back steps of the church in Windricksville. I'd go home and walk by the lot, and Johnny would be sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette, and maybe we'd lie on our backs and watch the stars. He isn't dead, I said to myself. He isn't dead. And this time my dreaming worked. I convinced myself that he wasn't dead. I must have wandered around for hours, sometimes even out into the street, getting honked at and cussed out. I might have stumbled around all night, except for a man who asked me if I wanted a ride. By the way, here's where, like in any other story, this would take like a sudden turn. We have the fact that Ponyboy, who got a concussion, is wandering home from the hospital, confused, not sure how to get home, and a random man in a car stops and goes, "Hey, little boy, would you like a ride home?" And most stories, you're like, "Oh my God, this story is going to take a turn." But that's actually not what happens here. But we're going to find out. All right. Are you all right, kid? You look like you've been in a fight. I have been. A rumble. I'm okay. Johnny is not dead, I told myself, and I believed it. I hate to tell you this, kiddo, the guy said dryly, but you're bleeding all over my car seats. I blinked. I am? Your head. Excuse me. Your head. I reached up to scratch the side of my head where it had been itching for a while, and when I looked at my hand, it was smeared with blood. "Oh my gosh, mister, I'm sorry," I said, dumbfounded. Don't worry about it. This wreck's been through worse. Hey, what's your address? I'm not about to dump a hurt kid out on the streets this time of night." I told him, and he drove me to my house, and I got out. Thanks a lot. So again, random man picks him up on way home and just takes him home. It's like, "Hey, little boy, where's your address? Get in my car. I'll take you there." And he gets in and he's like, "Hey, little boy, you're bleeding all over my car. That's perfectly okay." All kinds of levels of creepy. What was left of our gang was in the living room. Steve was stretched out on the sofa, his shirt unbuttoned and his side bandaged. His eyes were closed, but when the door shut behind me, he opened them, and I suddenly wondered if my own eyes looked as feverish and bewildered as his. Soda had a wide cut on his lip and a bruise across his cheek. There was a Band-Aid over Derry's forehead, and he had a black eye. One side of Two-Bit's face was taped up. I found out later he had 4 stitches in his cheek and 7 in his hand where he busted his knuckles open over Sosha's head. They were lounging around, reading the paper, smoking. Where's the party? I thought dully. Weren't Soda and Steve planning a party after the rumble? They all looked up when I walked in. Derry leaped to his feet. "Where you been?" "Oh, let's don't start that again," I thought. He stopped suddenly. "Ponyboy, what's the matter?" I looked at all of them, a little frightened. "Johnny, he's dead." My voice sounded strange even to me. "But he's not dead," a voice in my head said. "We told him about beating the Socias, and I don't know. He just died. He told me to stay gold," I remembered. What was he talking about? There was a stricken silence. I don't think any of us had realized how bad off Johnny really had been. Soda made a funny noise and looked like he was going to start crying. Two-Bit's eyes were closed and his teeth were clenched, and I suddenly remembered Dally pounding on the wall. "Dallas is gone," I said. "He ran out like the devil was after him. He's going to blow up. He couldn't take it." How can I take it? I wondered. Dally is tougher than I am. Why can I take it when Dally can't? And then I knew. Johnny was the only thing Dally loved, and now Johnny was gone. So he finally broke. Two-Bit spoke everyone's feelings. So even Dally has a breaking point. I started shaking. Derry said something in a low voice to Soda, and I called on Jackson. "Jackson, what's up?"
I want to show you someone.
Quickly.
I'm
Smiling.
trying to pick her up.
Is it Olivia? Oh, that's adorable. Oh, how nifty.
Say hi to Bubbles.
Definitely not Olivia. By the way, I like your shirt also. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Bubbles is adorable. "Ponyboy," Soda said softly, like he was talking to an injured animal. "Hey, you look sick. You better sit down." I backed up, just like a frightened animal, shaking my head. "I'm okay." I felt sick. I felt as if any minute I was going to fall flat on my face, but I shook my head. I don't want to sit down. Derry took a step toward me, but I backed away. Don't touch me, I said. My heart was pounding in slow thumps, throbbing at the side of my head, and I wondered if everyone else could hear it. Maybe that's why they're all looking at me, I thought. They can hear my heart beating. The phone rang, and after a moment's hesitation, Derry turned from me to it. He said, hello? And then listened, and he hung up quickly. It was Dally. He phoned from a booth. He's just robbed a grocery store, and the cops are after him. We gotta hide him. He'll be at the lot in a minute. We all left the house at a dead run, even Steve, and I wondered vaguely why no one was doing somersaults off the steps this time. Things were sliding in and out of focus, and it seemed funny to me that I couldn't run in a straight line. The not being able to run in a straight line. If you remember before in the fight, in the thing where he got kicked in the head, we talked about the fact that basically he got a concussion. This is the whole him getting a concussion thing. So now as he's trying to run along and stuff like that, he's having a lot of issues with it because of the whole getting kicked in the head concussion issue. We reached the vacant lot just as Dally came in, running as hard as he could from the opposite direction. The wail of a siren grew louder, and then the police car pulled up across the street from the lot. Doors slammed as the policeman leaped out. Dally had reached the circle of light under the street lamp, and skidding to a halt, he turned and jerked a black object from his waistband. I remembered his voice. I've been carrying a heater. It ain't loaded, but it sure does help a bluff. It was only yesterday that Dally had told Johnny and me that, but yesterday was years ago, a lifetime ago. Dally raised the gun, and I thought, you blasted fool! They don't know you're only bluffing. And even as the policeman's gun spit fire into the night, I knew that was what Dally wanted. He was jerked half around by the impact of the bullets, then slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph on his face. He was dead before he hit the ground. But I knew that was what he wanted, even as the lot echoed with the cracks of shots, even as I begged silently, please, not him and Johnny both. I knew he would be dead because Dally Winston wanted to be dead, and he always got what he wanted. Nobody would write editorials praising Dally. 2 friends of mine had died that night, one a hero, the other a hoodlum. But I remember Dally pulling Johnny through the window of the burning church, Dally giving us his gun, although it could mean jail for him, Dally risking his life for us, trying to keep Johnny out of trouble. And now he was a dead juvenile delinquent, and there wouldn't be any editorials in his favor. Dally didn't die a hero. He died violent and young and desperate. And just like we all knew he'd die someday, just like Tim Shepard and Curly Shepard and the Brumley boys and the other guys we knew would die someday. But Johnny was right. He died gallant. Steve stumbled forward with a sob, but Soda caught him by the shoulders. Easy, buddy, easy, I heard him say softly. There's nothing we can do now. Nothing we can do? Not for Dally or Johnny or Tim Shepard or any of us. My stomach gave a violent start and turned into a hunk of ice. The world was spinning around me, and blobs of faces and visions of things past were dancing in the red mist that covered the lot. It swirled into a mass of colors, and I felt myself swaying on my feet. Someone cried, "Glory, look at the kid!" And the ground rushed up to meet me very suddenly. Time out. All right, so I have a thing to show you. So let me show you a thing here. Come over to here, to here, and here, and here. All right, click. So with the death of Dally Winston, let me walk you guys through how this happens and why he does the way he does. So with this one, he happens to do it in the nighttime. So it's not during the daytime. So it's in the empty lot, the one that's near their house, where all these big things happen. And so he goes and robs the store. And we already know about that, the gun, it has no bullets in it because he tells us that multiple times. I'm not going to have bullets. I'm not crazy. But that's what he uses to rob the store, the gun with no bullets. Then he runs into the empty lot. When he runs into the empty lot, he could go anywhere in the empty lot, but he specifically runs all the way until he was directly underneath the street light. He does that to make sure that he can be well seen. Once he's underneath the street light so that everyone can see him, he then pulls out his gun, turns around to face the cops. When the cops show up, he then points the gun at them to make sure they see he has a gun. They pull out their guns, and apparently cops don't have a sense of humor when you're pointing a gun at them, because when he goes, hey, pew, 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 they go pew, pew, pew right back at him, but their pew, pew beats his pew, pew, and that's what ends up killing him. So the death of Dally was absolutely on purpose. He does that whole suicide by cop thing because that's how he wanted to die. Now with that one, the reason he wants to die, Johnny. Dally only had one goal, and that was Johnny. The only thing Dally was really moving forward for, the only thing that he really cared about was the fact that he cared about Johnny and the fact that Johnny was his happiness. Johnny's dead. Dally has no other happiness, no other things that he really cares about, so that's why he wants to die. But being the tough thug he is, you can't just like jump off a bridge or kill yourself or something like that. So Dally goes out and commits suicide in the coolest, thuggiest way possible. And that, of course, is getting shot down by the popos. You get shot by the police, that's straight up thugging. Now, the other part is, why does he make his friends come watch all of it? Because if he knows he's going to do this, that's his plan when he robs the store, why call your friends and make them watch you die? Doesn't that seem like a bit of a jerk move? This is Dally's way of trying to show emotion and be a nice person. He wants his friends to know why he did it. He does not want his friends to try and get revenge against the cops. He wants his friends to understand all of these things that happened to him. So when he calls them, that's his way, Dally's way of doing that sharing bonding thing, of saying, hey, I'm going to try and connect to you in the only way I know how. Even though it's disturbing, realize he's a teenage boy. Teenage boys are not good at things like emotions and making this whole connection thing. So he does it by saying, hey, I love you guys. You're my best friends. Come watch me die, which is probably as disturbing as you think it is. All right, now back to me. Stop sharing. Back to this guy. There. So Dally is dead. Now, at this point, once Dally dies, hang on 1 second. This is where Ponyboy suddenly just passes out and just goes like, ka-thump, falls straight down onto the ground and goes out. Here's what you have to realize. All of this has happened in a 1 week period of time. So this is what's happened in 1 week. Coming home from a movie theater, he gets jumped by a bunch of Socs, gets a knife held against his throat, and almost gets killed. Then gets saved by his brothers. Goes out to the movie theater the next night. At the movie theater, runs into a whole bunch of Soc girls, gets to flirt with the Soc girls, gets to have the best night of his life, gets to have Johnny stand up to Dally and get chased away, gets to walk the Soc girls home. On the way home, he gets stopped by a bunch of other Socs who then try to beat him up. He smashes a bottle, he gets ready to cut them up, goes home, gets slapped by his brother, runs away from his brother, runs to the park, gets drowned while at the park, wakes up and getting drowned to find out that his best friend stabbed somebody. From there, runs to go find Dally, finds Dally. Dally tells them how to run away. They get on a train for the first time, run away on a train, get to this other place called Windricksville. In Windricksville, they hide out there for 5 days while eating bologna sandwiches and cigarettes. And then from there, they go to Dairy Queen, have a big meal. From there, they come back to the church, find out the church is on fire, go into the churches, and the church is on fire. They save a whole bunch of burning children, pull the burning children out, throw burning children out of a window, which is the best thing ever. And then from there, go to the hospital, come home from the hospital. Once they're there, he ends up going back, finding out there's a big rumble, going into the rumble, getting kicked in the head, getting a concussion at the rumble, winning the rumble, going and watching Johnny die, getting picked up by a random stranger, and then from there going back out to the empty lot and watching this other friend of his get shot dead. That all happened in 7 days. For most of you, any one of those things would be a most. For most of you, getting to flirt with really hot people would be like the thing that made your entire month, let alone that being one of like 12 things that happened to you. So that's why all of a sudden I see you shushing me. All of a sudden his brain just shuts down and he just kind of goes, and then passes out. And that's where we're going to get to another confusing part coming up. All right. So now continuing on page 155. So now Ponyboy passes out from brain overload issues. When I woke up, it was light. It was awfully quiet, too quiet. I mean, our house just isn't naturally quiet. The radio's usually going full blast and the TV is turned up loud and people are wrestling and knocking over lamps and tripping over the coffee table and yelling at each other. Something was wrong. but I couldn't quite figure it out. Something had happened. Now, I couldn't remember what. I blinked at Soda bewilderedly. He was sitting on the edge of the sofa watching me. Soda? My voice sounded weak and hoarse. Is somebody sick? Yeah. His voice was oddly gentle. Go back to sleep now. An idea was slowly dawning on me. Am I sick? He stroked my hair. Yeah, you're sick. Now be quiet. I had one more question. I was still kind of mixed up. Is Derry sorry I'm sick? I had a funny feeling that Derry was sad because I was sick. Everything seemed vague and hazy. Remember, concussion on top of everything else. Kicked in the head, brain not working very well. Yeah, sorry. Soda gave me a funny look, and he was quiet for a moment. Yeah, he's sorry you're sick. Now, please, shut up, will you, honey? Go back to sleep. I closed my eyes. I was awful tired. When I woke up next, it was daylight, and I was hot under all the blankets on me. I was thirsty and hungry, but my stomach was so uneasy, I knew I wouldn't be able to hold anything down. Derry had pulled the armchair into the bedroom and was asleep in it. He should be at work, I thought. Why is he asleep in the armchair? Hey, Derry, I said softly, shaking his knee. Hey, Derry, wake up. He opened his eyes. Pony boy, you okay? Yeah, I think so. Something had happened, but I still couldn't remember it, although I was thinking a lot clearer than I was the last time I'd waked up. He sighed in relief and pushed my hair back. Gosh, kid, you had us scared to death. What was the matter with me? He shook his head. I told you you were in no condition for a rumble. Exhaustion, shock, minor concussion, and Two-Bit came blubbering over here with some tale about how you were running a fever before the rumble and how it was all his fault you were sick. He was pretty torn up that night, Derry said. He was quiet for a minute. Actually, we all were. And then I remembered Dallas and Johnny were dead. Don't think of them, I thought. Don't remember how Johnny was your buddy. Don't remember that he didn't want to die. Don't think of Dally breaking up in the hospital, crumpling under the streetlight. Try to think that Johnny is better off now. Try to remember that Dally would have ended up like that sooner or later. Best of all, don't think. Blank your mind. Don't remember. Don't remember. Where did I get a concussion? I said. My head itched, but I couldn't scratch it because of the bandage. How long have I been asleep? You got a concussion from getting kicked in the head? Soda saw it. He landed all over that Soch. I've never seen him so mad. I think he could have whipped anyone in the state he was in. Today's Tuesday, and you've been asleep and delirious since Saturday night? Don't you remember? No, I said slowly. Derry, I'm not ever going to be able to make up the school I've missed, and I've still got to go to court and talk to the police about Bob getting killed. And now, with Dally? I took a deep breath. Derry, do you think they'll split us up? Put me in a home or something? He was silent. I don't know, baby. I just don't know. I stared at the ceiling. What would it be like, I wondered, staring at a different ceiling? What would it be like in a different bed, in a different room? There was a hard, painful lump in my throat, and I couldn't swallow. Don't you even remember being in the hospital? Derry asked. He was trying to change the subject. I shook my head. I don't remember. You kept asking for me and Soda, sometimes for Mom and Dad too, but mostly for Soda. Something in his tone of voice made me look at him. Mostly for Soda. Did I ask for Derry at all, or was he just saying that? Derry? I didn't know quite what I wanted to say, but I had a sick feeling that maybe I hadn't called for him while I was delirious. Maybe I'd only wanted Soda Pop to be with me. What all had I said while I was sick? I couldn't remember. I didn't want to remember. Johnny left you his copy of Gone with the Wind. Told the nurse he wanted you to have it. I looked at the paperback lying on the table. I didn't want to finish it. I'd never get past the part where the Southern gentlemen go riding into sure death because... Oh, hang on one second. Riding into sure death because they're gallant. Southern gentlemen with big black eyes and blue jeans and t-shirts. Southern gentlemen crumpling under streetlights. Don't remember. Don't try to decide which one died gallant. Don't remember. Where's Soda? I asked, and then I could have kicked myself. Why don't you talk to Derry, you idiot? I said to myself. Why do you feel uncomfortable talking to Derry? Asleep, I hope. And I thought he was going to go to sleep shaving this morning and cut his own throat. I had to push him to bed, but he was out like a light in a second. Derry's hopes that Soda was asleep were immediately ruined because he came running in, clad only in a pair of blue jeans. Hey, Pony Boy! He yelped and leaped for me, but Derry caught him. No rough stuff, little buddy. So Soda had to content himself with bouncing up and down on the bed and pounding on my shoulder. Gosh, but you were sick. You feel okay now, right? I'm okay, but a little hungry? I should think you would be, Derry said. You wouldn't eat anything most of the time you were sick. How'd you like some mushroom soup? I suddenly realized just how empty I was. Man, I'd like that just fine. All right, I'll go make some. Soda Pop, take it easy with him, okay? Soda Pop looked up at him indignantly. You think I was going to challenge him to a track meet or something right off the bat? Oh, no, I groaned. Track meet. I guess this just about puts me out of every race. I won't be back in condition right off the bat. Oh, no. Sorry. And the condition for the meets, and the coach was counting on me. Golly, there's always next year, Soda said. Soda never has gasped the importance Derry and I put on athletics. Like he never has understood why we all went all out for studying. Don't sweat it about some track meet. Soda, I said suddenly. What all did I say while I was delirious? Oh, you thought you were in Windricksville most of the time. Then you kept saying that Johnny didn't mean to kill that Soch. Hey, I didn't know you don't like bologna. I went cold. I don't like it. I never liked it. Soda just looked at me. You used to eat it. That's why you wouldn't eat anything while you were sick. You kept saying you didn't like bologna, no matter what it was we were trying to get you to eat. I don't like it, I repeated. Soda, did I ask for Derry while I was sick? Yeah, sure, he said, looking at me strangely. You asked for him and me both, sometimes Mom and Dad, and for Johnny. Oh, I thought maybe I didn't ask for Derry. It was bugging me. Soda grinned. Well, you did, so don't worry. We stayed with you so much that the doctor told us we were going to end up in the hospital ourselves if we didn't get some sleep. But we didn't get any anyway. I took a good look at him. He looked completely worn out. There were circles under his eyes, and he had a tense, tired look to him. Yet his dark eyes were still laughing and carefree and reckless. You look beat, I said frankly. I bet you ain't had 3 hours sleep since Saturday night. He grinned, but didn't deny it. Scoot over. He crawled over me and flopped down. And before Derry came back in with the soup, we were both asleep. And that's page 160. As much as I would love to keep reading chapter 11 with you, I can't because of my throat. I'm dying. Plus, some of you guys have to go for Mrs. Randall's Zoom, for those of you who are doing it. Unfortunately, I think this is the last day I read with you because we don't have anything tomorrow and Monday. And then Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the end of the book. We're going to be talking about chapters 11 and 12. Now, for those of you who do read it, it's confusing, especially chapter 11. I will have to explain things to you because Pony Boy basically, remember, kicked in the head, still sick, having issues. He basically starts rambling and it's going to get real confusing. It's okay if you read chapter 11 and go, it doesn't ain't making no sense. It's okay. Have faith in it. For some of you, you'll figure it out. For others of you, I'll explain it to you on Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to talk about the end of the book. I'll explain things to you there. And then, Wednesday, we'll have the final test that covers all the things that go from there. And then Thursday, we start doing our end of the year stuff because we only have 2 weeks left from there. Oh, before I forget, let me show you guys the thing again. For those of you who want to see the Socrative for today. There, and screen share. There. There you go. So if you did not screenshot it before and you are wanting to screenshot it now, again, it is the REG7. And so you're basically just going to make a social media post on Socrative, something that would be from Pony Boy's point of view, connecting to what's going on in the book and stuff like that. And that's pretty much all I got. It's supposed to be fairly nice outside for those of you who are finally getting dressed and doing your hair. You should be good to go outside. Today's much warmer than yesterday was. And then the weekend's supposed to be pretty good too. And then that's pretty much it. You guys are almost done here to the very end before we get to wrap stuff up. You have 2 weeks of school left, and then we're done. All right, so I'm going to take that off. If you haven't taken a screenshot now, that's up to you. Let's see. Stop screen share. There. All right. Then back over to me. And
She said, no, I want more.
what do they want more of, Braden?
My sister wanted more cereal. But
Wait. What kind of cereal? Let's cover the important stuff.
it's the one that looks like cookies. The wolf
Cookie Crisp?
cereal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
That was my brother's favorite. All right, go ahead. What's up?
Yes. Can you show the screen that had like all the characters on it again? Because I was about to screenshot it and then I didn't.
Yep, hang on a second. Let me rewind to it, and I'll pop it up for you. Screen share and screen two. But you should pop up in a second. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, so that's Braden. Pearls, I just want to let you know, I think you have something on your nose. I didn't want to embarrass you earlier.
Yeah, I have a question.
What's up, Pearls?
So for the Socrative thing today, is there even a Socrative, or do we have to do this social media thing? Because you didn't put what we had to do for the Socrative. I'm confused.
That is the Socrative, dear. The Socrative is you are doing a fake social media post on Socrative.
So do I just write something down?
For like your Socrative entry for today, you're going to pretend it's a social media post. So you're going to post it from something like that.
So I don't actually have to make a TikTok?
No, I mean, you can if you would. That'd be awesome. I'd love to watch it and stuff like that. But no, you don't have to actually make a TikTok. You would just describe which TikTok it would be and then connect it to Ponyboy in some way and why he would choose it.
Oh, okay.
Although now I'm really sorry I didn't try to make you actually do a TikTok because that would have been awesome. But that's okay.
I was gonna.
I know. It would have been awesome. Elijah, are you going to say goodbye?
Yes, I want to say goodbye.
Sad. We only have 6 more of those.
I know, and then I don't ever get to see you again, which is going to be sad.
I'm actually going to agree with you on that one. I feel the same way. All right, Elijah.
And then, I have one more question. So for the Socratic, so when we're playing, Landon, shush. When we do it, do we like put like a TikTok? I'm so confused. Do we like make a TikTok meme about it or something?
You can. It's more just I want you to do a social media post, but the TikTok.
I've never done a social media post.
I know. That's why I was just trying to give you guys an idea. So you might have to do outside the box and do research on that one. But basically, just whatever you imagine a social media post would be, I'll take it. I'm pretty open. I was just trying to find something to be creative and make you guys make me smile when I read them.
Okay.
So as long
Bye,
as
Mr. Burbiak.
you'll be good. See you, Elijah. Miss you, kiddo. Mute. And hang on. There. Pence. What's up, kid? Wait, did I forget to unmute you? Pence. Did not mean to tease you. All right, let's try that again, Pence. That was my fault.
Is there a movie to Outsiders?
There is, and it's really good. But there's 2 different movies. It's the same movie. There's 2 different versions of it. There's a director's cut and there's a normal version. I highly recommend the director's cut. It's the longer one, but it has like the good scenes in it. The one that came out in theaters they show on TV is a shorter one, and it's cut together weird, and like it gets a little bit confusing. But if you can find the longer director's cut, it's worth watching. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Plus, if you're a girl, all the actors are super hot. And so it's like, that's all I hear from all of my girls who's like, oh my God, all the dudes in it are so gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, I know. They took like every hot guy from that time period and put it in the movie. So
Well, that's why I wanted to watch it.
yep, I would highly recommend it. Go for it. Solid question, Pence. Branson, what's up?
Hi.
Hey, I like the hoodie on with the little earphone things. Keeping yourself.
Thank you.
No. Is that all?
I have a question. No, I have a question.
Go for it.
Where can you actually find the Outsiders movie?
That well, one, if you go to this magical place called Netflix, not the streaming one, but they actually send DVDs, and so you can do the sending of DVDs. You can also normally I would say go to the library, but the library is currently kind of closed, which makes things tough. So beyond that, it definitely makes it tough. I know for me, my family, we still do DVDs from Netflix, not just streaming. So I can get it sent. But beyond that, it's kind of hard to find, unfortunately. Maybe
Okay,
you
thank
can
you.
find the black market on the internet. You can find a way of doing it. But beyond that,
Okay.
I mean, not that I would ever tell you to do that, but that could definitely be a way of finding it.
Okay.
Glad I could help.
I totally will not do that.
I like your thinking. Well done, hooligan children. Jackson, question. I see you, Jackson. I was ignoring you. It's okay. Just
Wait,
like
did
you're trying to
Elena
do it
already
for Cal and
leave?
strangling a
Okay,
dog.
no. Okay, Elena didn't leave yet. Okay, so one, if you were to go to the black market, the dark web or anything, you would need Tor. And two, what was the code for the Socrative?
REG7.
Okay,
There you go.
bye.
Oh, by the way, for those of you who do have TikTok, apparently there's TikToks you can use that tell you underground movie websites that can give you movies for like free and stuff like that. I know this because apparently
Soaptoday.com is one of them.
I would
use
never
that a lot.
say that one out loud, but yes, I have teenagers in my house who have apparently discovered those also. But I
Yeah,
would
it's
never quote those.
soap2day.com.
I have no idea
then
what that child is talking about.
And then when you go to it, you're gonna want to do soaptoday.com .in, I think. It's gonna give you a bunch of selections. You have to do the one that says .in.
Who knows?
Hey, you got free movies. You're
No one
welcome.
You can't hear him anymore. I would never promote such horrible choices. That is awful, especially to watch a movie connected to school. All right. I believe that's all we have. Oh, did Maggie already leave? Bye, Maggie. She was telling me. All right. All right. I'm going to go and gargle honey or something like that to try and make my throat not feel as awful as it does. And I'll see you guys in 2 days. Enjoy the end of the book. Don't forget that's on audiobook if you want to listen to it on there. And all right. Check you. Go enjoy sunlight or something like that. Oh, Clemens, you caught me right as I was getting off. What's up?
Okay, the audiobook doesn't work.
I mean, the audiobook doesn't work.
On your website. I tried it and it did this creepy thing. Had like 2 dots on it. It was like a square. It looks like some old people thing. Like a tape, I think it's called. Something like that. I don't know.
I'm going to it now. Hang on.
Yeah.
I will fix it. Regular Outsiders audiobook.
I tried it yesterday and it didn't work.
I will fix that then. Not a problem. I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Elena, I'm trying to leave. What do you want?
I'm sorry. One more thing. I just looked it up on Amazon Prime. Would this happen to be it?
Probably. If it says the complete novel uncut, probably. I guess
It just says complete novel.
Then yeah, that'd probably be the right version.
Thank you.
Not a
That's
problem.
it. Goodbye.
All right. I'm going to go fix my website because apparently the audiobook's not working. I had no idea. So let me take care of that. All right. Let me go fix that. Check y'all's.